Hello, welcome to the channel Our Day Stories. Sit back and listen to a new story. But don't forget to subscribe and like it.
Michael had no intention of staying in the village. He arrived there for an indefinite vacation after divorcing his wife. He caught his beloved wife in the arms of his own friend, and the decision was made instantly. He didn't even hit his friend's face, just threw him out the door. To his wife, he said, "I'm going to the village for a month. Please take all your belongings from my apartment. I hope we won't have any disagreements or I'll expose you to the whole town." His wife worked in the administration and was about to become a deputy. She, of course, told him that she would wipe him off the face of the earth, but Michael just smiled coldly. "You're thin-skinned, my dear," and they both knew that she really was thin-skinned. Her job was just a fortunate coincidence, something she had busied herself with. He quickly packed his things at work, for some reason wrote a resignation letter instead of taking a leave. Perhaps he wanted to completely change everything in his life. And early in the morning, he drove off to the village in his car, where his grandfather used to live. Michael had always been very close to his grandfather when he was little. He often spent summers with his grandparents. Then he grew up. His grandmother passed away, but he continued to visit his grandfather. But when he started college, he couldn't come as often as he wanted. Michael tried several times to bring his grandfather to the city, but no luck. His grandfather passed away when Michael was already married. He stopped at the house, smiled contentedly. "No wonder he brings gifts to our neighbor, Byron. A rubber boat, a new separator. The house doesn't look abandoned, the grass is mowed, the fence is straight. Good man." This time, Michael brought him an expensive fishing rod, knowing that Byron was an avid fisherman and had even dreamed of such a rod. "Are you scared? Michael, is that you? How many years, how many winters?" Michael smiled widely. "Byron, how glad I am to see you." They hugged and Byron looked into the car with interest. "Are you here for the whole summer?" "Well, for now a month, and then we'll see." "Wow, but we have things to do. We need to celebrate. How about you unpack and come over in the evening? I'll heat up the sauna. We'll grill some meat." "Do you remember what my sauna is like?" Michael's cheeks almost cramped. "How could you forget your sauna? It's like being reborn there." Byron headed towards the house, and Michael called after him. "Byron, wait." Someone turned around. "Byron, I brought you a little gift." "Thanks for thinking of me," he replied in a hushed voice. "Don't mention it. It's not difficult for me. I can tell they're expensive, so you don't need the fishing rod anymore." "It's exactly what it is, Byron. You wanted it, and I picked it out for you." Byron was almost in tears. "You joker. I don't even know what to say. Thank you. And I'll see you tonight." Byron left, and Michael started unloading his things. His mood noticeably improved. It was so nice to be able to make someone happy. About an hour later, Byron's wife came. "Hello, Michael." "Hi, Dwana. I brought some snacks for you. You don't have time to cook yet, right?" Michael wanted to refuse, saying it was inconvenient, but his stomach growled loudly. Dwana laughed. "Well, there's your answer. Enjoy your meal." She was already reaching for the door handle, but turned back to him. "Steph, thank you for Byron. He's so excited and happy. While the other guys go drinking in the field, he goes fishing. While the other guys go to the workshops, he comes here. It's like you're showing him a different life." After the collective farm fell apart, Michael knew that Byron worked as a mechanic on the farm. He loved machinery and took care of the cows. He had told Michael all about it himself, and when the farm fell apart, there wasn't much work left in the village. It was good that he managed to gather his small tractor. Now he could plow the fields, bring things back and forth, At least some income, not burdening any family. Can't you do it? How many years have we known each other since childhood? Don't talk nonsense. Joanna smiled. Get ready, Michael. Byron has prepared some new birch branches for the sauna, especially for you. He went to the forest. Michael pretended to howl. Joanna, tell me, where can I hide? Joanna laughed. I think he'll find you no matter where you hide. Byron's sauna was the kind that felt like your skin was going to burst. After the sauna, of course, you felt like a different person. After the sauna, when Michael was sitting in Byron's yard in a semi-stupor and sipping tea, he heard about the huge fish Byron had caught. The gate creaked and a young woman entered the yard. Michael was speechless at how beautiful she was. He whispered to Byron, "Who is she?" Byron whispered back, "That's Louisa. She also worked at the local farm. But now she's jobless with a child. Where's her husband?" "Her husband ran away in search of a better life." "Don't look at me like that. Louisa is serious. She doesn't have affairs with men. And in general, I think she hates our gender after marriage. She and Joanna are good friends. Joanna helps her and does her best. Very rarely when she takes something," he said sadly. Of course it was sad. Louisa used to be a better milkmaid, and even though she's not from here, her cows were always the cleanest and gave the most milk, and she's educated, like a teacher or something. So why did she come to the village? Oh, there's such a murky story. The German woman knows, but she doesn't go into details. Her husband, well, the one who ran away, he got involved in gambling and at one point accumulated so much debt that they were evicted from their apartment. Juana said they moved into his mother's house, but the mother-in-law treated Louisa so badly that she bought a house here and ran away. True, the mother-in-law sent their son to her, apparently to get him out of her sight, and as soon as Louisa collected enough money to renovate the house, he took off and was gone. That's why she filed for divorce with the police. But they just separated officially, like the legal husband. He didn't break anything, just took their shared belongings. They haven't talked as a family yet. Louisa went to them, then came back. Juana, no. What's with Louisa? Well, her son got sick, and she doesn't have any fever-reducing tablets. I see. And our Michael couldn't take his eyes off her. Juana smiled. No, it's useless with Louisa. You have to do something super impressive to even get her attention. Michael smiled too. So you think I'm incapable of super impressive actions? Byron, what's that building? I saw it at the beginning of the village. They started building workshops there, but then everything fell apart. They just abandoned it. Do you think we could turn it into a farm? Byron and Joanna exchanged glances. Byron leaned forward. Well, it will take some work, but it's quite possible, Steph. And what are you thinking? Well, I have an idea. If you take me on as a helper, I think we could have a decent business together, Byron. Juana smiled, somewhat bewildered. Wait, are you really thinking of opening a farm? Take him, we don't have a farming business yet. I'll think about it, calculate everything tonight, and I'll tell you everything tomorrow. For now, let's get a couple of hours of sleep. 4 years had passed since that conversation. The farming business that Michael eventually opened included not only a farm, or rather, initially it was just a farm, then a milk processing workshop, and later a meat processing facility. Now Michael was considering opening a couple of his own stores in the city instead of selling his products to distributors who undervalued them. Byron was his right-hand man responsible for all the machinery. Under his supervision, there were 2 people who carried out all his orders. No matter how much he bragged, it was true. And not long ago, Michael saw a few books on electrical engineering and some specialized tools in Byron's possession. With some embarrassment, Byron explained that he wanted to study remotely, as there seemed to be no educational opportunities for someone in his position. Overall, everything was going well, even better than Michael could have imagined, if not for one. But it was Louisa. She simply tormented him. He had achieved everything, and they were not seeing each other, not as often as he would have liked, because both of them had busy schedules, and Michael felt ready to propose to her. But then she responded, "I'll think about it, don't rush me." Out of frustration, Michael even began to think, maybe 4 years is a short time, maybe I need to spend another 10 years by her side. Today, Michael planned to have a serious talk with Louisa once again. Lately, she seemed lost in thought, and what was wrong with Robert, her son? Michael had a great relationship with him. He parked his car in front of the farm and immediately noticed a cat. Anger welled up inside him. These cats were so annoying, like some kind of scourge. There was a nearby cottage community, and everyone thought it was fine to dump animals here in the fall, and it created such unsanitary conditions. Moreover, the milkmaids, by feeding them, had created a real dump behind the corner. Michael had been talking for a long time about how they should stop feeding them. But in the end, when one cat fell into a vat of excellent milk that he couldn't use afterward, he flew into a rage. Everyone received his wrath, including Louisa. Michael said, "If there's a single cat on the farm in a week, I'll call for their capture." The women looked at him displeased. And Louisa asked, "I don't know where they'll go." Strangely enough, there were fewer cats, and then they completely disappeared. And now, as he was about to get out of the car, he noticed Louisa in the distance. She was hurrying not towards him, but somewhere else, walking cautiously and looking around as if she didn't want to be noticed. Michael clenched his teeth. The image of coming home and finding his wife in bed with his friend immediately flashed before his eyes. Although Louisa wasn't like that. Michael smiled sadly, but he was confident that his wife wasn't like that either. He jumped out of the car and followed Louisa. They were separated by bushes and twilight. Various images formed in his mind, such as her hiding her ex-husband because she loved him. And then Michael shook his head. Louisa had disappeared on the abandoned farm. The thought remained. Yes, her husband was definitely hiding there, and she would run to him. Anger and resentment surged within him, causing him to leap out of the bushes and rush toward the dilapidated farm. He forcefully pushed open the gate and stormed inside. Louisa was sitting on a haystack, arranging food in bowls, and around her there was a crowd of cats. He was taken aback and froze. The woman turned around, surprised, and immediately frowned. "Michael, what are you doing here?" "I saw you come in here, and I thought." Louisa stood up. "So you thought and rushed here to confront me." What else could I say to defend myself? Louisa wasn't the kind of person who could be easily deceived. "Where do you think? I never thought you would be like this, treating defenseless, abandoned animals like this. Do you really think I would call for their capture? It's just that you, with your kindness, allowed them to multiply on the farm. You're an intelligent woman. You understand how your salary is composed." Louisa let out a relieved sigh. "Yes, I know. I just don't know what to do. But they'll starve if we don't feed them." Suddenly, Michael smiled. "What if we convert this building into a shelter? Byron will help. The farm can provide food. We can even post about it on social media, and maybe we'll find families for many of them." Louisa looked at him in surprise. "Are you serious?" "Yes, why not?" 2 months later, the first scruffy beauties found new homes. Louisa, who was no longer fully focused on her bright career, rejoiced for them as if they were her own children. And a month later, she finally agreed to be his wife. The miracles that unfolded with Michael were indescribable. But the gifts from destiny didn't end there. On their wedding day, 36-year-old Louisa announced that she would give him an extraordinary gift for his 40th birthday. Michael pondered for a long time, then pleaded, "Well, tell me, I don't need any gifts, I have everything, but you always have this air of mystery." Louisa handed him a photo of a little person already growing within her. Michael cried, embracing Louisa, Joanna, Byron, Robert. He kissed the cats and embraced all the guests again, and Louisa looked at him, thinking that perhaps a person could still find happiness, even if they no longer believed in it. The underlying moral of this story is that life's greatest treasures often lie in the pursuit of one's passions and the power of resilience. Michael's journey from a failed marriage to starting a successful farm highlights the transformative nature of perseverance and following one's dreams. Despite facing personal challenges and societal expectations, Michael takes a leap of faith, embraces change, and discovers a sense of purpose and happiness in his endeavors. This story emphasizes the importance of taking risks and stepping outside one's comfort zone to pursue one's true calling. It encourages individuals to listen to their inner desires and overcome obstacles along the way. Michael's determination to create something meaningful and his unwavering dedication to his farm demonstrate the rewards of resilience, hard work, and a positive mindset. I think, furthermore, the narrative reminds us of the significance of compassion and empathy. Girl's act of rescuing abandoned animals and Michael's idea of turning their farm into a shelter reflect the transformative power of kindness and the impact it can have on the lives of others. The story suggests that by extending our care and support to those in need, we not only bring joy and hope to their lives, but also enrich our own. Overall, this story conveys the message that by pursuing our passions, embracing resilience, and extending compassion to others, we can find fulfillment, overcome obstacles, and create a meaningful and purposeful life.
Thanks for watching. If you liked the story, write your opinion in the comments.